Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chishi Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Woman says she thinks it's disrespectful and gross for women not to treat sex as something that has value. Your body count is important to men. Oh my gosh, she said it. Let's see how everybody responded, but first, let's drink this coffee for ourselves. Let's get it.
I do believe that female body count is really important to men. And I think if I were a guy, I would care about it as well. Here's why. I think that I think that it's a sign of disrespect to yourself to not treat sex as something that has value. And I think that guys still value purity in women. I don't think they have to be virgins, but I think they value women who have been hesitant to put their bodies out there with everyone. In other words, they don't bed hop. Maybe they had a couple of partners, a few partners, but it was people that they really cared about. It was committed relationships. There was monogamy involved. It was a sign of self-respect that those women had because they weren't willing to just sleep with anyone. I watch these videos of girls now, young women, early 20s, and you'll ask them, what's your body count? And they'll say, oh, I don't know, 10, 13, 15. That's gross to me as a female.
All right, guys, so that was pretty much it. And what she said triggered many modern women. This video went viral. It was on Spiritual Word and a few other pages. But before I read these comments, how crazy is it that we live in a time where saying body count matters, women should be careful. If they let everybody hit, then that's lowering their value. How crazy is it that in today's age, that's seen as wrong, hateful speech? Keep safe out here, man. Keep safe. As always, we're gonna check out some of these comments. First comment here from a woman, Hush. That's Dry Cat Energy. Let women do what they want without you commenting on what they do with their own bodies. Women want to live in a world where they can do whatever they want and don't want to hear shit from anybody. They want to police speech. If it was up to women, you wouldn't be able to say anything negative about them. I want you guys to really think where this is headed. They don't want you to have any preferences that oppose their lifestyle. They essentially just want to live in a world with no consequences, where they can do whatever they want. This is an entitlement of the highest order. That's what they're asking for when they say things like, don't comment on what women do with their bodies. I think we'll say whatever the hell we want. Next, another comment here from another woman says, I no longer find this woman a credible source of opinion. What I did as a teenager never comes up in my 40s. Yeah, why not? Why don't you want to talk about what you did as a teenager? And what teenager? You shouldn't be. First off, I hope my daughter isn't doing any of that in her teens, right? Goes on to say, or at least I hope, because you know, you can't stop everything. At least I hope those weren't the highlights of stuff she doesn't want to bring up and talk about was in her teens. It's just crazy. Next, she goes on to say, super immature to even discuss a count. Like seriously, shit's irrelevant if you really connect with someone on a deep level. Body count in quotations is something young people do when they start effing, not when they're grown adults. Like, what the F? So this chick's highly triggered, and so are the 400 plus people who liked her comment, letting you know that she belongs to the streets. Gentlemen, listen to me. This is Sodom and Gomorrah, right? I hate to sound like my preacher growing up, but I don't know what else to say, man. I'm not trying to force morality on anybody, but damn. Does it matter at all? Does it matter who was blowing that back out? Does it matter whose D you were sucking? Does it matter the filthy things you did for whatever reason? Doesn't matter, really? Next comment here from another woman says, y'all are weird as hell. F who you want to F. Sex is literally worthless unless you're trying to get pregnant or get someone pregnant. It's just pleasure. That's how they treat it. There's risk, just like nearly everything else we do for pleasure. Mind your business, she says. If you attribute someone's value to something as trivial as sex, you don't deserve to be with someone. A human's value is more than just sex. It's a whole human being. Y'all would say the literal most morally correct human on this earth isn't worth shit because they have a body count higher than 5. So guys, what this woman is doing is pretty typical. Is she's conflating personal value with sexual market value. How men view you in the dating market will never change, ma'am. Hella bodies equals a hell no.
Put that coffee down.
Put that coffee down in the dating market, long-term relationships, family. Kiss it goodbye. And guys, don't be out here feeling bad for these women. That's the one thing I want to get across. Don't feel bad when a woman comes to you and she denies the facts and data. This proves that women who sleep around tend to be more damaged than women who don't. And we know we're not going to find virgins, but it does matter to what degree you are out here wilding. It matters. And the body count and sexual history is just one side. We haven't even talked about what these women bring to the table, which is mostly stress. No wonder men are out here just using women for sex and tossing them to the side. And you may think that's wrong. How is it wrong if it's just as simple as shaking hands? Then men shouldn't be penalized or looked at as terrible people if all they're doing is just shaking your hand, because it doesn't matter, right? You can't have it both ways. Either it matters or you can't get upset when a guy just uses you for sex, right? Stand on it. Next comment here says, men should treat sex as something that has value too. Why should women be held to a higher standard in that regard? I think to some extent, yes, this is true. Men do need to have sexual discipline. But the truth is, men don't get affected by sex the same way that women get affected by sex. It's different. But on top of that, men aren't going around here just based on how mating works between human beings. Men aren't going around here sleeping around the way women are going out here sleeping around. They never will. The average woman today, even below average woman today, has more bodies than the average man. Men have to work, right? The way they get sex is different from the way women get sex. So they don't really have to deal with this issue. Now, when it comes to discipline, yes, discipline is important. But who's prone in our generation, in our culture, to being ruined by sex? Most likely women. And you need to know that as a man. If she thinks like this and thinks it doesn't affect her whatsoever, bro, do whatever you need to do, but please do not take these women seriously for long-term relationships. Another man here says, body count only matters to insecure men. My gosh. 3,400 plus likes from other women. Another woman here says, internalized misogyny isn't new, and it won't save her from her eventual turn to be judged as a woman. Next, another comment here from a man says, it's not really facts, it's just a cultural narrative we have in our society that stems from Christianity. So no science, no data to back this up, right? It goes on to say, I mean, that's fine if that's what we want and you adhere to that narrative, but a lot of people don't. Also, personally, as someone who's more into alternative scenes, especially NK, not many of us care about things like body count. In fact, that could be seen as more of a badge of honor. It's not seen as something that reflects how loyal you are, etc. In my opinion, praising purity/virginity is gross because it feeds into things like pedophilia. Wow. Another man here says, sleep with whoever you want. Nobody is in the retirement home saying, I wish I had less sex. And guys, if you're triggered by a woman having a healthy sex life, leave her to the real men. And then a woman responded back to him and says, I love you so much. Go off, sir. Yeah, go off pandering. I love you so much. She's not giving that guy the cheeks. As somebody who worked in retirement homes for 10 years, I worked with the elderly. I'll tell you right now, it did matter to those elderly people. That generation of women weren't wilding to the extent of the current generation. It did matter. It did matter. They got married younger. They had less sexual partners. Next comment from a purple-haired woman here says, yes, but I think it goes both ways. I don't want no loose man neither. Another guy responded back and says, I hear ladies say they want an experienced man. Now this is confusing. She says, experience happens naturally. Yeah. Guys, you gotta accept the sad fact. I'm about to say some controversial. But you gotta accept the sad fact that most women today are 304s. They're 304s. Accept that fact. You see her walking down the street, you're like, oh, she looks so innocent. No, she just finished sucking. Bro, no, she looks so different. Don't be so quick, right? Get to know her. I hate to be so crass and so straight up. This is for my men out here, man. This is a man's channel. At the end of the day, I gotta keep it real with you, bro. Most women today belong to the streets, especially demographic of 25. Shit. Let's be real here. 18 to 35. 35, maybe they start slowing down because they're like, whoa, what was that? You're okay assuming that now because most women support this narrative. Guys, as always, curious to know what you think. Comment down below. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.